So this mess in front of me is just some of the equipment that I might use when taking Juno hiking. She hikes with me most of the time if the trail allows it. It seems like a lot, but honestly it's really easy to bring a dog hiking. You just need a couple extra things. The biggest thing is leash laws, so you have to want to make sure you know if you have to have a leash on your dog or not on the property. Some places off leash is okay and you can be under voice command if your dog listens. And then other places it's even as specific as like the length of the leash. So in Acadia National Park, for instance, I think it's like 6 feet or something. It can't be longer than that. And so it's really important to know the leash laws. Yeah, I know. It's really poop bags. And so that's really important to just like pick up your dog's waste so that it's not on trails or you know, even beside the trail. No one wants to smell it, no one wants to see it. Like properties have closed down to dogs because people leave the dog poop everywhere. So it's really, that's like the stakes there. So when you do have some extra stuff for your dog, if you want, you can have a doggy backpack. And so that's what this is. It's got like 2 things on each side. And then the trick is putting the same amount of weight on both sides so they're not lopsided. But so they can carry not only like their own snacks and things like that, but they can carry their own poop once they've pooped. So that's kind of the big thing with the dog backpack. And one thing that could go in the dog backpack, I have a variety of different collapsible bowls. Sometimes I forget it and it's really frustrating because the dog, like all the things the dog needs fresh water when they're hiking, just like you do. So, and pro tip, bring a water bottle for your dog that's separate from your water bottle, because when you pour water into your dog's bowl, they don't know enough to drink the whole thing when you're hiking. And so they'll leave water, and so you don't waste it, you can pour it back into their water bowl, and these like collapse, so you can do that. But you don't want to be sharing a water bottle with a dog if you're doing that. So I learned that through trial and error. I did want to mention blaze orange or bright clothing for dogs, especially during like deer hunting season. So what Juno's sitting on right now is a life vest. And so she also does water sports with me. And while she can swim pretty well, I like to put a life vest on her so she can just kind of float around if she wants to. I've brought her out in the canoe for canoe camping, and I've also brought her paddleboarding actually. And she'll jump off the paddleboard, which is a fun challenge for both of us. Oh, she's looking at the wipes. Those are just, I use those on her when she gets muddy during mud season, which is coming right up. And I do bring treats. I did not bring the treats out here to show you because she would be getting into them, but I always bring high value treats. So she listens to me better, and also when I stop to have a snack, I just feel bad if I can't fuel her up too, so.
What kinds of research should be done ahead of time?
So before you go out with your dog on a hike, or anything really, you should just look at the rules of the land you're gonna be going to. A lot of trails are open to dogs, but some aren't, for good reason. Some they just focus more on like nature conservation. So it's important to just know the rules, know if there's a leash law or if they're allowed off leash, that sort of thing.
What does good trail etiquette look like?
With a dog, I think it's just important to remember that not everybody wants to pet your dog, even if your dog's super friendly. I've talked to a lot of different people about this because I've written about leash laws a lot and the importance of having your dog on leash if it is part of the property rules, and really gain some perspective. So some people are afraid of dogs, like they've been attacked by a dog in the past. So they purposely go to places that either don't allow dogs or dogs have to be on leash. So it's really important to make sure that your dog kind of keeps to itself. But also like people with mobility problems that don't want to get knocked over, or children, like people who don't want their children to be knocked over by your dog.
Where are some of your favorite dog-friendly trails?
There are some that actually like are super welcoming to dogs, like because it's a part of their history or something. So for example, in Blue Hill, there is a preserve called Penny's Nature Preserve where the person who donated the preserve named it after their dog, and the dog used to spend a lot of time on the trails there, so you can have your dog off leash. It's very dog friendly. There's like a dog on the sign. So I always like to bring Juno to places like that because there's an expectation that there's going to be a lot of dogs there. So the Land and Garden Preserve on Mount Desert Island is also super dog friendly. Dogs are allowed to be off leash, and so that's a good thing to know if your dog's not good with that. But there's like a big pond there that they can swim in, and you just see dogs playing fetch in the pond all the time, so that's really cool. I did write a book. So I've written 3 guidebooks, and one was dog-friendly hikes in Maine. And so when writing this book, because there's so many trails that are open to dogs, what I thought about was trails that aren't too steep or rocky and exposed, because dogs don't tend to do super well with that. And then I thought about places that had like water access where dogs could wade in or swim. So this book is published by Down East Books, and it's at a lot of local bookstores. I've seen it, and like I've seen it in L.L. Bean. Like, it's really cool. A lot of people carry it, which is nice, and it's available online as well. But support your local bookstore.